Georgia, Mr. Carter, for his 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to wave on to this committee and to this important hearing. Dr. Cohen, thank you for being here. It seems that there's been a shift in the CDC toward addressing broader societal issues like climate change and social detriments of health, and I'm very concerned about that. You know, you've heard today the trust in CDC, not only from Congress, but in the general public, and you know this. You haven't been living in a shell. You understand that the trust, the public trust, is lacking right now. We want to help. We're not here to pile on. We're not here to beat you up. We need to help. But I'm concerned now that you're biting off more than you can chew. What's up with this? What's up with these? You know, what's has your mission changed? All of a sudden now you're going to bite off more than you can chew and talk about these issues? Like, I mean, your mission beyond, has it expanded beyond communicable disease detection, investigation, outbreak control into areas such as non-communicable diseases, injury prevention, climate change, social detriments of health?
Well, thank you, Congressman Carter, and thank you for, obviously CDC being located in Georgia. Appreciate your support of CDC and our work. And look, we have a number of health threats that are at our doorstep. Many of them are infectious disease, many of them are not. I look at too many suicides, too many overdoses. The heat.
I would call those mental health issues, so I beg to differ on that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry, then please happy to have you clarify.
Well, I mean, which agency in the federal government do you think is more qualified or more prepared to deal with climate change, the EPD or the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, or the CDC?
So, well, specifically related to health and heat. I mean, there are many health impacts of heat that we are understanding more and more. And, what CDC is great at is bringing data and evidence and best practices to some of this, again, whether it's suicide or whether it's how things like heat or wildfires are affecting people's health. We need to have that data and evidence so that our health delivery system and others know how to react to protect.
But do you think the CDC's got too many missions, or not enough? Are you looking for more, or what?
well, we do need to make sure we have the resources.
I mean, my hope, and I think the hope of the committee and the hope of Congress and the hope of the public is that you focus on what you need to be doing and that you do it well. I mean, obviously, if we have another pandemic, we don't want to see the same mistakes that we saw during this last one.
Well, Representative Carter, we agree on that. We need to learn the lessons from the pandemic. I agree on focus and prioritization. I think we need to make sure we have risk-based prioritization of what we're doing. There are so many health threats out. We can't possibly tackle them all. We have to be prioritized in doing that. But those are infectious and non-infectious in those health threats. We don't want people in our country dying sooner than seeing early deaths.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to belabor this, but what about deforestation? I mean, that's affecting the environment. How many foresters have you got at CDC?
Ooh, I don't know the answer to that.
You think you have any?
I don't know. I don't think so. But
I hope you don't.
I don't know.
Well, I hope you understand my point. My point is that we want you to focus. We want you to get it right, and we want you to make sure that you're fulfilling your mission and not trying to expand beyond your mission. I mean, obviously, we want you to do well. We want you to succeed. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to do that if you broaden into these other things that are getting so much criticism.
Well, I appreciate wanting to work together on that important mission. And again, some of the things we've been talking about to make sure we have the infrastructure needed, workforce response, our lab capacity. I think we're all talking about the same things. I do want to make sure, though, we have the ability to address some of these health issues upstream. I know, particularly your clinical background, we spend a lot of time in different committees talking about the expense of chronic diseases and how much money we spend in Medicare and others on diseases that we know can be prevented. We need to do the research and know the best practices so that we can be preventing these diseases like diabetes before we're paying
fair enough. One last question before I let you go, okay? next to getting to move to the state of Georgia where the CDC is located, what's the greatest thing that ever happened in your life?
Thank you. Well, I'm grateful to be in the state of Georgia. I do miss North Carolina. That will always have my heart, but it's been great to be at the CDC campus, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, and I yield back.